Death penalty, though?
Yeah, the DP.
Well, just like, I don't think it's really the death penalty, like when it comes, like Blaine saying Akron should shut their football program down. I think it's more like, hey, man, y'all should just probably stop doing this.
Yeah.
Like, there's a better way
Let's
for you
focus
to
on
spend
other
money.
things.
I don't feel bad for any college in Ohio playing football. Like, you
don't
should be
feel
able to
bad
get
for
the
them.
recruits and play good football.
I feel bad for the people who had to watch it, including myself. It was bad.
So you think Akron should just disband their
it's
football
bad.
program?
It's terrible.
Wait, they've won games this year.
Who are the
haven't they?
two teams they beat?
Kent State?
There's another one.
No way.
Well, the crazy thing is Akron's really good in basketball.
Yeah, let's focus. Let's lock it in.
That's just Joe Moorhead.
Where are our resources going? Let's have that. Well, I mean, we saw Florida Atlantic, what they did. You never know. You put together the right program in basketball, it's not happening in football. It's done.
Well, let's see. Akron. Yeah, man, they're 2-8. They're in this thing.
Why'd you say that like that?
Morgan
They got
State, big
two.
win. He's right.
It's
They
like,
beat
what's
Kent
that?
State.
What's the movie? Is it Bull Durham where he gets in the locker room and he's like, "Hey, what's our record?" And he's like, "We're 4-27." He's like, "Good God Almighty, how did we win 4?"
That's so true.
Florida State remains the only unbeaten team in the ACC as they host rival Miami this weekend. The Angels hire Ron Washington as their new manager, and we're going to take a deep dive into some of the top matchups in Week 11 of college football and take your calls. I'm Jake Crane, and it's the thirstiest of Thursdays in a good way here at Crane & Company. Now, it's one thing to get in a fight with a neighbor, but it's totally different to get in a fight with someone you live with. Believe me, I'm from Iron Bowl country. I know, our room's right next to theirs in the house. And this weekend, Florida State has a fight with one of its two brothers from the Sunshine State, not their stepbrother UCF that's going to the Big 12, but their two true brothers. And out of all the undefeated teams left at the top, Florida State is the most vulnerable to miss out if they aren't perfect down the stretch. Notice I said undefeated. Texas has one loss. Especially if Louisville falters and the ACC championship matchup gets watered down. You see, Georgia could bounce back from a regular season loss with a win over Bama in the SEC championship game. Michigan and Ohio State still have to play each other here at the end. And Washington still has two ranked opponents left to play in the regular season, and most likely another showdown with Bo Nix and Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. But the question isn't, can Florida State be perfect? It's, can they be better than the men across from them? And more times than not this year, the Seminoles have answered that call. But just like Oklahoma State beating Oklahoma recently, two of these next three games are very personal and weird things can happen. But this Florida State team is a little bit different. They're flashy enough to go up and down with you offensively if it's a track meet, but they're also grimy enough to win in a rock fight. Their brand of football is complementary thanks to Mike Norvell, and they win in multiple ways with multiple playmakers despite having multiple injuries, which is without a doubt the main ingredient in trying to successfully navigate a perfect season. Now, I expect this team to jump out early and often against Miami, who's consistently turning the ball over, and I think they're going to hold on because every game from here on out, regardless of how well it's gone so far, regardless of strength of schedule or anything, is a must-win if Florida State wants a chance to make the playoff. I'm going to bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. And, some people say, oh, well, yeah, it's obvious you're going to have to win out to make the playoff. Well, if you look around, David, and I'm talking about the undefeated teams, not talking about teams with one loss, not talking about teams with two losses that are trying to sneak in there. I'm talking about the undefeated teams at the top. So Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, and Washington. Those are the five. Every team on there, I think, could have a chance to survive a regular season loss outside of Florida State. And look, Louisville could end up being fringe top 10 or top 10 at the end of the year. They still have to go to Miami. They still get Kentucky at home. They can actually clinch an ACC championship berth with a win against Virginia tonight and a North Carolina loss this weekend. But still, I don't think Louisville would get Florida State over the hump enough against some other one-loss teams if it comes down to that.
I agree with you. It feels like the ACC needs to go unbeaten to make the college football playoff, and Florida State is that last unbeaten team. Now, maybe when it comes down to a head-to-head, if you have a one-loss Oregon or Texas or a one-loss team that didn't win their conference, perhaps that strength of schedule will come into play. And, we should weigh that LSU game heavily for Florida State at the beginning of the year. But too often times when we get to December, the committee's already forgotten things that have happened back in September. They'll judge a loss in a conference championship a little harsher. So, to me, I agree with what you're saying right now. And with this Florida State team, it feels like this is the type of team that could, win the national championship. I truly believe it. With Jordan Travis and Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson on offense, this defense led by Jared Verse, it's the type of team that could win a national championship, which is unbelievable, given the fact that we were talking about it was Mike Norvell on the hot seat a season ago, a program coming in with 5 or 6 straight losing seasons. It's unbelievable. But also, this is a team I think that could lose 2 of the next 3 games or multiple games down the stretch, and no one would be overly surprised. Now, most of their struggles have come on true road games, which they're not going to get again until Florida. So they get Miami and then they get North Alabama at home. They do go on the road to rival Florida, but 2 of these next 3 are against in-state rivals. And then you're rewarded with playing Louisville, possibly in the conference championship. So of the 5 unbeaten teams left, 2 of them in the Big Ten have to play each other. Florida State has their toughest schedule left ahead of them with these in-state rivals in the conference championship, as does Washington in the Pac-12, and even Georgia. I mean, they're going to host Ole Miss this weekend. I mean, these are the championship weeks for sure.
Yeah, and Blaine, look, I think Florida State is good enough to line up on any given day and beat anybody in the country. Michigan, Alabama, I think they have good enough players, and the complementary football that Florida State plays, I don't think gets talked about enough. And sometimes it isn't sexy, and sometimes it isn't pretty. Well, guess what? That's how a regular season works, pretty much in any sport. It's not always going to be smooth. Your best side of the ball isn't always going to be your best side of the ball or the best side of the ball on the field that day. But again, looking at the numbers, because while the numbers don't tell you everything, they give you some evidence here. Florida State, when you look at the stats offensively and defensively, points per game, they're ranked number 7 in the country. Points given up per game, they're ranked 11th in the country. You go down through the list, opponent third down conversion, Florida State on defense is 4th in the country, only giving up 28% of third downs defensively. They're top 40 in third down conversion rate. This team is just solid all the way through, and they've been able to make up for guys that are hurt. You saw who was out against Pitt, who I know Pitt isn't the greatest team, and the ACC isn't the greatest conference, but we've seen FSU have in their DNA their ability to be a chameleon, win in different ways, even on the road, even at home, in big matchups, and matchups that aren't huge. Now, the last test is the personal test, right? That's the Miami, that's the Florida, which I'm more worried about the Florida game on the road in the swamp than I am against Miami at home, because I don't trust Tyler Van Dyke right now, and he's going to walk into a hornet's nest. So when they throw that spear down, Chief Osceola comes in there, that plate's going to be on fire. Because, no, look, you talk about turning the swag up. Nobody turns the swag up like FSU when it's going good at the end of the day. That uniform strikes the fear of God into people when they're hot. They get off the bus, just like Miami, just like LSU, just like some other schools. But Blaine, when you look at this Florida State team and you look at the ACC, out of all the matchups we could have in conference championship games, maybe outside of the Big 12, you can feel bad for Florida State because of the position they're in and having to be perfect. But I would much rather play Louisville than I'd rather play Oregon or Washington. I'd much rather play Louisville than I'd rather play Alabama or Georgia. I'd much rather play Louisville than to play somebody to play Michigan or Ohio State, to be honest with you. Now, when you look at the Big Ten West, that's laughable, but they got to go through each other to get there. Kind of how do you see this Florida State team right now?
I mean, this Florida State team kind of reminds me of that national championship LSU team. I mean, the offense is not as talented as the LSU team, but they're extremely talented, and the defense plays above average football. Like, if you've watched these Florida State games, I wouldn't say this defense is great, right? But I'd say they're good enough to win a natty because, one, they've been winning games without Johnny Wilson. And let's remember that. I know you got a lot of pieces on that offense, but Johnny Wilson is one of the best receivers in the nation. I mean, the guy's 6'7". I'm surprised that we didn't see him on the Avengers. And you go through the schedule. I mean, you give up, I know it's week 1, but you give up 24 points to a really good LSU offense. Still had all the pieces. Jaden Daniels. You beat a Clemson team on the road that just beat Notre Dame, who's not having the best season, but they can come on and still have the athletes on defense. You take care of Duke. You take care of Pitt. You're winning games in multiple ways. And at the end of the day, it's all about who's at the helm of it, who's running it, right? And that's Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't think Jordan Travis gets talked about enough about what he's doing. I know we have elite quarterback play in the nation, but Jordan Travis is one of the best in the nation. Look at the numbers he's putting up. I mean, look at Benson catching balls. You have top 15, top 20 picks running around this football field. And look, I know you beat, if you watch that Pitt game, it wasn't pretty, but you got to win games like this. Great teams do what? They know how to win in multiple ways. So I think Florida State has to be perfect. And I know Louisville's probably the least, good opponent you're going to play in the championship team, but that's not a walk in the park game. All right, what Braum is doing with these fellas is a different Louisville team, a different Louisville squad. They're physical on both sides of the ball. They have athletes. I mean, they have one of the best receivers, not only in the SEC, but in the nation. So I agree with you. Florida State has to be perfect, but I'm not worried about this Florida State team. I'm not. Not against Miami. I mean, definitely not against North Alabama, and not against the Florida team we just watched. Hell, I'd be more worried about Miami than this Florida game.
Even though it's at home?
Yeah, to be honest. I think Miami's sneaky. I think Miami will get up for this game. I really do. I think this Miami game will be closer than this. Florida's defense is bad, right? And I've seen Florida give up on games, right? I watched Florida not want to tackle KJ Jefferson in the second half. Just make a business decision and let him go. And I think the Florida State offense is good enough to run Florida. But you look at Miami's secondary. Miami's got a couple safeties that'll probably go into a league, a corner who's probably going to a league. They have a D lineman who's going to a league. Miami can get up for games, and this one's a little bit different, in my opinion, Florida State, Miami, than in Florida State.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. I'm more worried about the Florida game in the Swamp because it's on the road. We've seen the way Florida's played at home. There's splits on the home and road. But I tell you who this Florida State team reminds me of, the two teams that are similar this year. And at first, people were going to be like, what? What do you mean? Look at Florida State and Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. Just look at them. Look at kind of how the team's made up. Ole Miss got couple guys on the outside that can really play with Franklin and Harris. Now, that's not to the level that Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson are, but there's still cats on the outside. You look at the running back position, Benson and Judkins, and two offensive lines that can handle business. You have two mobile quarterbacks that can throw on the move and in the pocket. Now, I would take Jordan Travis at the end of the day over Jackson Dart, but Jackson Dart's taking a big step, not turning the ball over. They're right next to each other in giveaways a game, and kind of the way that their offense operates and their ability to do multiple things. Then defensively, I think there's a decent amount of parallels, but one team has Jared Verse and the other doesn't. So I would take Florida State over Ole Miss on a neutral site, but I think the way these teams are kind of made up, there's some similarities there, but it's going to be very interesting to watch it down the stretch. We want to know what you guys think. We're opening up the lines here at 7:15 a.m. Central. That's 8:15 a.m. Eastern. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. We really appreciate the chat's been super hot this week. We're excited to talk to you guys, so make sure you get ready to call in. But speaking about teams that have are places that have a lot at stake this November, speaking of steak, our friends at Good Ranchers, if you're a tailgater, I mean, look, if you're somebody that cooks dinner or lunch or breakfast, they've got you absolutely covered. Don't go to the grocery store for your meat anymore. This is 100% American-based. We eat it all the time. We've eaten it for a year now. It's absolutely fantastic. They have seafood. They have a pork box now. And this November, you get to pick your favorite meat to get for free for a year out of steak, salmon, chicken, or bacon when you subscribe to any box right now, because their Black Friday Your Way sale is live, and it's something you don't want to miss. I've already had a couple people send me what they ordered with the promo code. They get as excited about it now as we do. And they have great meat puns, but the meat's even better than the puns, I promise you. So claim your year of free meat and $15 off plus free shipping. Let me say that again. Roll that thing up just so you can make sure and hear how great this deal is. You get a year of free meat, $15 off, and free shipping when you use our code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER at goodranchers.com. All right, it's the #1 place to get all-American beef, pork, chicken, and seafood. That's promo code BOOSTER at goodranchers.com. Goodranchers.com, American meat delivered. We had burgers last night.
Did you?
Some of that Wagyu beef. Man, I'm telling you, it is top-notch. It's fantastic. Also, speaking of fantastic, we got some new merch that's coming up. I promise you, I'm going to unveil that to you guys soon. But we're going to put the link in the chat. You want to help out the show? That's one of the best ways. Go buy some merch, from candles to shirts. We're almost out of stock in clothes, and we want to restock that. We really appreciate you guys. All right, let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Blankles. What a name. Says Jordan Travis would be the best QB in every conference except maybe the Pac-12. Do we agree with this or no?
I'm taking Jaden Daniels over Jordan Travis.
But it's really good. 19 touchdowns, 2 interceptions this year.
Look, Jordan Travis, I mean, we're arguing between great players, right? The difference is I think Jaden Daniels is a little more explosive in the run game. They're a little bit different runners. I think Jaden's faster. Not that Jordan isn't fast, but Jordan laterally too. But I mean, Jaden laterally, God Almighty. But no, I would take Jaden Daniels over Jordan Travis. There's not a lot of people I would take over Jordan Travis, though.
Let's go to Connie Ron. He says Gators have a couple divas playing in the secondary. They definitely don't want to tackle. If I'm Florida State, I am not worried about Florida.
Again, I'm telling you, playing in the swamp. It's just, if you've ever gone there, you've ever seen a game, especially in a rivalry game, when Florida's got nothing to lose. They've got nothing to lose. They can go play free. Billy can run all the reverses and all. They can blitz all they want and do whatever. You're playing with house money, and you can ruin your rival's season, similar to what Oklahoma State just did when they took Oklahoma out of contention for pretty much the Big 12 championship and definitely the national championship.
All right, let's go to Kyle Edwards. What's up, Kyle? He says, hey, Blaine, ask the guys, who should Michigan State go after for their HC, that head coach?
Well, it's who's going to be willing to take it. It's the obvious answer. We've talked about Urban Meyer. I've said that. If he's willing to take it, especially in Big Ten country, you go get him. Think, the guys you're going to hear from everybody. Mike Elko at Duke, Jed Fish at Arizona. Would he listen? I wouldn't if I was Arizona and if I was Jed Fish at Arizona. I'd just take my happy ass to the Big 12 and go see if I can't keep building. Lance Leipold at Kansas is another one. Would Jamie Chadwell at Liberty listen? Don't go get Rich Rod. Don't fall for the trap. Don't do it. You're Michigan State. Don't look at Jacksonville State. They're like, oh man, it's up-tempo. We can kind of be the opposite of what Michigan is. Don't do it.
Would he love to come in and beat Michigan, though?
Oh, Rich Rod, definitely. I'll never forgive him.
Urban Meyer wouldn't take it, though.
Let's go to I Am Games 32. He says, will the Heisman Trophy come down to the Pac-12 championship in a rematch between old Bo Nix and Michael Penix?
I think now that unfortunately, and we'll see how healthy Jaden Daniels is. Again, RG3 won it with 3 losses. I was talking about this on Moscona's show last night with him. But yes, right now it is looking like the Pac-12 championship game is going to decide who wins the Heisman unless either one of those teams fall apart. Jordan Travis is able to continue doing what he's doing. But no, give me either Bo Nix or Michael Penix. Obviously, I think it's Penix right now, and then Bo Nix after what Washington did to Oregon. But Bo Nix could avenge that. They just got to get there. And Washington still got Utah. They still got Oregon State. And then they got the Apple Cup against Washington State, even though it's at home. Oregon, you get USC this week. You got Oregon State, who beat you last year. It's there's a lot of work that needs to be done before we get to that point. But yes, I am game.
All right, let's go to Eddie. Hashtag AskCNC as time run out on Ole Miss and Penn State to be in the national title contention, no matter if they win this weekend or not.
The door's not totally closed, but I mean, yeah, it's pretty much closed. I mean, if you're Ole Miss, let's say you're Ole Miss and you win out, right? You've got 1 loss. Well, Georgia and Alabama, you still. I don't think Alabama's going to lose to Kentucky. I'm never going to get to that. But if Alabama plays Georgia in the SEC championship, you're obviously rooting for Georgia, right? You want Georgia to win that game because that gives Alabama 2 losses, and that kind of usurps a little bit the head-to-head. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and think what the committee would do because it's all the mashed potatoes anyway. Then you look out, you hope that there's carnage here at the end in the Pac-12. Maybe somebody drops 2, and you're able to eliminate the Pac-12. I just think at this point, yeah. I mean, I would betting man, yes. If you're Ole Miss and Penn State, again, I'll say what I said last year or yesterday. Who gets helped out more from going to a 12-team playoff and getting divisions taken out of their conference than Penn State? I don't think anybody gets helped more than that. Maybe Tennessee, somebody like that. But you're a year away. That's the part that sucks the most if you're Ole Miss and Penn State. You are 1 year away from getting into the 12-team playoff, but we're in the 14 playoff era still. All right, one more.
Penn State controls a little bit more of their destiny.
A little bit because they get Michigan.
They play Michigan this week, and then you still would need the help of OSU.
Beating
OSU.
Ole Miss plays Georgia.
Yeah, but that doesn't help, see, because that's a game in the East, right? So they still need, regardless of, they need to win out for sure, but they still need Alabama to lose to Kentucky and Auburn. See, they can't just lose one of them.
Well, what I'm saying is, what if, let's say Ole Miss beats Georgia.
Mhm.
Georgia still goes to the SEC championship
Yes.
from the East. Georgia beats Alabama.
Mhm.
Bama has 2 losses. Ole Miss has 1 loss with a win over Georgia. Say Florida State loses in the ACC championship game. Let's say Michigan or Ohio State goes undefeated, so they're in. Let's say Texas loses in the conference championship game and the Big 12's out with 2 losses. I can see a way where Ole Miss does sneak in there. I don't think the door's totally closed, but it's like on the Maze Runner when the door's like going down. Like Ole Miss and Penn State are in the process of trying to run and like Indiana Jones under the door. It's just, can they get there in time?
Let's say Alabama did fall to Kentucky and in the Iron Bowl, and Ole Miss plays in the conference championship game. They have to play Georgia twice, it would look like.
Yeah,
If you beat Georgia twice.
Oh, you beat Georgia twice, you're in. What do you mean?
You'll be the 1 seed.
You get an infinity stone for doing that, I think.
You already won.
Yeah. You get the time infinity. Doctor Strange shows up and gives you an infinity stone.
And then they both make the college football playoff.
Yes.
And play them 3 times.
Then Mississippi State somehow finds no. All right, let's get into some of the sneak peeks.
All right, let's do it. Hey, we got a big one tonight. Virginia at Louisville. Louisville still with 1 loss. On track to make the ACC championship game.
Murder. I tell you that one of the thing I probably like the most about Louisville is this isn't the, hey, we're going to go try and score 45 points a game. If we win 45-38, then great. Can we get a couple stops on defense? This is a Louisville team that lines up and they're like, all right, we're going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, outside of that bad loss, again, imagine if Louisville hadn't lost. This is at Pitt, right? They lost to Pitt.
Yes.
Like, imagine they didn't lose that one. What would we be talking about right now?
They lost to Pitt 38-21.
38-21 in a game that they were leading and let Pitt come back, I believe. But I like what they do up front. I think this is a tough team. I think this is a team that looked Notre Dame in the eyes up front. Notre Dame, I think, kind of took them for granted and punched them right in the face. This Louisville team's built with the ground game, man. Mm-hmm. Jack Plummer's using the pass game as a compliment off the run game, which I know Brom wants to be balanced. But let's be honest, when I think of Jeff Brom, I'm thinking about slinging the ball out there. When I think about anybody named Brom, I'm thinking about Brian Brom, right? Ryan Brom, Janian Brom. Like, I'm thinking about throwing the ball. Really good player. Yeah. Really good player. So give me Louisville by a bunch. I mean, Virginia. Tony Elliott's done a good job, I think, keeping Virginia in some of these games. They've kind of punched above their weight. Big win over North Carolina.
Played Miami to over.
They've lost how many games? It's by like 1 scores. They've been in some games.
Since Louisville lost to Pitt, they've beat Duke 23-0. And then they beat Virginia Tech 34-3. Now they have Virginia, like we said tonight. Then they get Miami on the road and Kentucky. So the last 2, we'll find out a lot more. But tonight, you think they hold serve?
Yeah, for sure. I think this game will be pretty close until it kicks off. I mean, it's sitting at 20.5, I believe. I mean, Plummer's just got to be himself, and I think Brown will be a dude.
Well, the over 50.5.
You don't have to do too much against the Virginia team. Jamari Thrash have a great game. Jordan. I just like the way this Louisville team's built, man.
Yeah, a couple backs.
Yeah, a couple backs are really nice. So give me Louisville and the points.
All right, we talked about it. Alabama goes to Kentucky. Bama with their best game last weekend. Tommy Rees from a play calling standpoint. Jalen Monroe playing quarterback. Now, do you think they take a step backwards at all? Even if they beat Kentucky, do they take a step backwards, or is this Alabama identity really starting to form?
To me, the biggest question in this game is not who's going to win. I think Alabama's just that much better than Kentucky, and I don't trust Devin Leary. And I'll get into why here in a second. But I'm interested to see, is it going to be embraced now? Hey, guess what? You're in a house full of vegetarians for 12 years. Uh-oh, Dad brought steak home one night. You had a taste of it. How much did you love it? My guess, you loved it. It was the greatest thing you've ever eaten because Jalen Monroe went absolutely ridiculous, went dummy last game when you tailored the game plan to what he does best. This has to be Alabama now. If Alabama wants to win the national championship, if they want to beat Georgia in the SEC championship, they're not going to do it by turning Jalen Monroe into Dan Marino. They're not. Jalen Monroe needs to be Tyrod Taylor. Jalen Monroe needs to be what he was last game against LSU when they realized they were going to have to score, 40, 50 points to win. I think they were protecting him physically, not that they weren't trying to score points, but they weren't trying to get him so beat up that you had to put one of the backups who we know aren't capable yet. Ty Simpson, I think, will be down the road. But will Alabama continue this RPO action, the quarterback design runs, even though it's against Kentucky? How will Tommy Rees operate and call plays? Because I thought they were at their highest level of efficiency. And I know LSU's defense makes you look like that. But I know what I was looking at, and I know how comfortable Jalen Milroe looked, and I know how dangerous they looked. I know how well that offense complemented each other when they were running that system because it fits him best. If they do that, they will run Kentucky out of the gym. They were running out of the gym in front of me, you, God, and everybody because they're that much better than Kentucky is, in my opinion. But let's look at Kentucky for a second. Everybody was talking about, Kentucky's going to Georgia. It's going to be a great game. Kentucky can beat Georgia. There's a reason all week we were saying they're going to get destroyed because styles make fights. Kentucky is a box run team. They are not a team that is going to be able to run laterally with the quarterback, with Devin Leary. It is Ray Davis. It is gap scheme. And Ray Davis is a hell of a player. NFL. Great back. NFL player, for sure. Reminds me of Ray Rice. Speaking of another Ray, the way he runs a little bit. But you are going to be running into the teeth of an NFL defense, similar to what you were doing against Georgia. I would say there's a lot of comparisons between Georgia's defense and Alabama's defense. I think LSU, with a healthy Jaden Daniels, would score a lot of points on Georgia, too. I think they'd score a lot of points on anybody. I think they're the best offense in the country. But I don't think Devin Leary is good enough with a box run game that I don't think is going to work to be able to, and a play action game that they depend on. They're over 30% play action. So if the run game's not working, I'm not taking play action serious. And Devin Leary doesn't just make mistakes. He makes catastrophic mistakes. And this is where you see Kool-Aid. And this is where you see Downs. And this is where you see all those guys from that Alabama defense. When they get you in predictable passing downs and they know what you're going to do, they will feast on you. They will have an absolute day on you. I love Alabama minus 10.5 if they keep embracing this offensive game plan, which, David, I don't see how they don't.
Yeah, no, you've already shown what your strengths are. Like this
for sure. No, we know who you are.
So play to that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slaughtering. I really do. The one thing, if you're Kentucky fans, you got one positive. I mean, Devin Leary's playing some of his best football
basketball season.
Last couple of weeks, they've been playing all year. This game is at home, but the thing about it is, like, Alabama's going to be able to get to Devin Leary. All right, I don't think Kentucky's going to be able to get to Milroe.
Yeah,
and even if they get to him, can you get him on the ground? I think Milroe's starting his villain arc. Right, I really do. After going back and looking at his team picture, I think he's about to be on another level. After what I saw against LSU, that offense for Alabama can be the most dangerous in college football if they play like that, if they run him like that, if his clock looks like that, if his progressions are good. You got Burton, a lot of guys. One guy who does not get talked about on this Alabama football team is Isaiah Bond. I mean, like,
well, he's playing.
Isaiah Bond is he's the comfort receiver for Jalen Milroe.
The blanket?
The blanket guy. I mean, he's Bond, shaken, not stirred, all right? So at the end of the day, man, if Alabama keeps playing this type of football, they're as good as anybody in the nation. And what do we talk about with this Alabama team? Defense does what?
It travels.
Defense travels. And you need your defense to make a big play, right? You need Caleb Downs to come make a big play. You need Dallas Turner to come make a big play, and they do. I think Alabama wins this game sitting at 10.5. I believe Alabama, even on the road. Give me Alabama in the points, man. I feel like Alabama might run them out of the stadium.
46. Do we think? I mean, this is a game I can see Alabama scoring 40 points in.
Absolutely.
Like I almost like the over. It came down from 48.
Depends on what style they want to play. You know, I mean, they
this can't.
Ole Miss 24-10 type game.
David, this can't be a hey. Let's keep increasing Jalen Milroe's confidence in the pocket. Let's make sure and tell him all week not to escape. No. You let Pandora out of the box. It's like in The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. Y'all open that crypt and y'all let this curse out on the world. And guess what? Here it comes. All of a sudden, that face in the sand chasing the plane, that's Jalen Milroe. Just look at the team picture. My man's looking like Pennywise in that old photo in the new It movie.
But it may be one of those games where the running game from the running backs gets going, and they can lean on that a little bit more and not need Jalen Milroe quarterback run. They needed a lot of that against them.
Well, I mean, I think it's built into the RPO, right? Again, is Alabama going to line up and just run power and counter the whole time? That's a different
if it's
story.
Working.
Yeah, but if you're going to run split zone and then run the bluff off of it and run the RPO off of it like they did against LSU, I mean, it could hit at 3 different levels.
One thing for Kentucky fans here, Devin Leary, the past 5 games, 9 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions.
Who's those last 5 been against, though?
So that's Mississippi State, Tennessee, Missouri, Georgia, and Florida.
So it's again, he's playing some of his best football. You go back and watch that Tennessee game. He looked great.
Well, let's dive in. How many touchdowns he throw against Georgia?
He threw 2. and no picks.
He threw 2 and no picks against Georgia. Missouri's pass defense isn't great.
But he was 10 for 26 for 128 yards.
10 for 128 yards. What about Tennessee?
He was 28 of 39, 372,
Balled.
2 TDs and no picks.
That's
they lost
the game.
33-27, and he balled out.
That's the game, and that was at home, correct?
That was at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
All right, let's move to Tennessee and Missouri here. The stakes aren't quite as high given some of the recent losses for both of those teams, but still, you're talking about a 2-loss Tennessee team, 7-2, that's going to play a 7-2 Missouri team, and that game's at Missouri.
Yeah, I mean the winner of this one, 10 wins. You're looking pretty healthy, which is huge. Missouri coming off last year, giving Drinkwitz that 2-year extension. Some people were like, "What?" Including us. We were like, "Look, he's got to prove this. This is a leap of faith." Again, by the 80, but you saw what Missouri's building. Luther Burden's health in this game. I know they've talked about him. He may be questionable. Obviously, that's a huge part. But the good thing about Missouri is it's not just Luther Burden. We saw them go on the road. And speaking of Kentucky, beat Kentucky at home without Luther Burden doing that much. That's why when you have Schrader, when you have a guy like Brady Cook, who's a dual threat guy at quarterback, when you have Weiss Jr., it's the biggest question I have in this, home field advantage to me in this game is massive when I look at both these teams. Tennessee, we saw the way they played against Alabama on the road in the first half and then just fell off a cliff. We saw them fall off a cliff the whole time against Florida when they went on the road. Which Tennessee team is going to show up? But Missouri's pass defense isn't very good. I don't trust Tennessee's defense, even with the hurt Burden, to be able to stop Missouri at home. Nobody seemed to be able to do that. I know Tennessee's a 1-point favorite in this game. I like Missouri right now, even though Burden's questionable, because I think Joe Milton makes a few big mistakes in this game. I think this is one of the games we will look back on this year and say, well, that's when Joe Milton kind of regressed down to the mean of what we thought he was going to be. Not saying he won't put up some big numbers, but I think he has a couple critical turnovers in this game. I like Missouri to find a way at home. Como's not been an easy place to play.
So Tennessee -1.5 favorite on the road, over under 58.5.
Love the over.
Love the over.
Love the
over.
I just always worry about teams after they play Georgia and they play them close but don't pull it out.
Yeah.
Like how come, one, you're probably beat up, right? It's probably not looking great in the training room, and how much can you really get up for this game if you're Missouri? I think Tennessee, you basically had a bye week. You played Connecticut, which was a beatdown. If Luther Burden doesn't play, that's going to take some points off the board. It is, even when you're playing at home. I think Joe Milton, kind of a big thing with Joe. Joe's been running the ball extremely well. His feet has kind of been a difference in the last couple of games. The way he's been running the ball, he's been a downhill runner, and he looks calm and confident in the pocket. So give me Tennessee in this game. I think Tennessee wins. Obviously, it's going to be close because I think Eli does a great job calling plays. But I think Missouri, I don't know if they'll get up as much as they will for this game as they did last week.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's hard to get guys up for every game, but this one at home against a ranked opponent, you're trying to get to 10 wins. Eli's going to be fired up. You were respectable against Georgia. I like Missouri this week, and it may end up being one of my dog bets. We'll see how it ends up kind of unfolding. I know as the Luther Burden news comes out, I think it'll affect that line a little bit.
How well can Tennessee run it for me? That's what it is.
Yeah.
How well can Tennessee run the football? How effective are
Schrader's beat up too, I'm pretty sure.
Who's not beat up?
He'll play though, right?
Yeah, he'll play.
All right, last one. USC goes to Oregon. We had circled this one in the offseason. Look, this is still going to be a heck of a football game. We get to see Caleb Williams, Bo Nix go at it, and Oregon's still very much in the college football playoff hunt.
But Blaine, speaking about getting up, David, again, on paper, this looks like a great. I don't think this is going to be a great game.
Mm-mm.
I think Oregon's about to beat their ass, to be honest with you. I trust Oregon, even after losing to Washington. And if you watch that game and saw the way they lost, I think you can understand where I'm coming from. I trust Oregon just about as much as anybody right now. I don't trust USC and Lincoln Riley and the culture he has right now after letting go of Alex Grinch for this defense to show up. I think USC is going to mail it in, honestly. And not offensively.
So?
This is a big matchup for Caleb Williams going against Bo Nix. I'm not saying they don't have pride, but Oregon, to me, is just that consistent drill. It's just bang, 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 bang. USC, it fluctuates like this. It's up and down. They have no momentum. I don't think this is a circle the wagons situation at USC. It's not going to help them anyway because it's, their personnel isn't great. You're going on the road. Oregon has to win this game, obviously, to stay in contention for the college football playoff. I'm trying to pull up the spread right now and look at it unless one of you guys have it. Oh, I see it right here. It is Oregon minus 15, the over-under 73.5. I don't care what the Oregon TTP is. I would take it, and I would take Oregon minus 15. I think this is going to be an absolute beatdown. I think this is going to be the moment, right? And I know everybody's waiting to see who he hires as defensive coordinator, that Lincoln Riley's seat starts getting a little bit hotter than what people thought early when Oregon drags them this weekend going into next year, right? Because you're going to lose Caleb Williams. He's not coming back. I don't care what anybody says. I think people start talking about Lincoln Riley a little bit, and it's just going to push him closer and closer to the NFL, and it starts this weekend.
USC started 6-0 like we thought that they were going to, Blaine. Now they've dropped 3 of the last 4, and the fourth one was a 50-49 win over Cal. You see this going the same way? They just get. My biggest question is Caleb Williams going to pack it in for the rest of the year and just get ready for the NFL?
Yeah, sooner or later he is, and this might be the game. I think it's not really about the score of this game, but really what quarter does Caleb start crying and run to his mom? It's going to be that bad. I think it is. You're looking at one of the most balanced football teams in the nation in Oregon. You're looking at a USC team, just like other defensive coordinator. There's not going to be new players running on that defense this week matched because you just got rid of a coordinator. Your offensive line's bad if USC, and Bo Nix needs this. He wants this. This is a game where he can put up a lot of points to help them glorify that Heisman a little bit. So give me Oregon, and give me Oregon big. What's the spread on this?
15.
15, not enough. I'd play this up to 20, 21 points.
And what's the over-under on it?
Not enough.
73.5.
You're taking it again this week?
Oregon scores 75.
Of course. I'm telling you right now, Oregon could score 60 points in this game. And don't think Dan wouldn't. Don't think for a second that Dan Lanning, number one, isn't looking at the Heisman with Bo Nix.
Yep.
Right? Against Caleb Williams. And number two, he's got to recruit against Lincoln Riley. And guess what? Guess where they're going? Mm-hmm. They're going to the Big Ten with them. All right? They're coming with you. So if he can score 60, he's going to score 60.
And he's probably looking at the Washington win last week when Washington beat them 52-42.
And ran for 300 yards. Bucky Irving may run for 400.
How can we have a bigger winning margin against a common opponent in back-to-back weeks because we already lost to Washington? We need everything that we can get in the committee's eyes. If it's going to be subjective at the end of the year, Oregon still needs to beat them in a rematch, but they need all the help they can get, and I think margin of victory comes into that.
Without a doubt, especially when you get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the Booster Club real quick.
All right, let's go to PD. It says Caleb Williams is taking an L and definitely getting his French tips this weekend.
Without a doubt, they're going to be 7-4. They're going to be 7-4 after this weekend. And you know what? And I love Mike. And you know who I'm talking about. Which Mike I'm talking about? All I heard beginning of this year and in the offseason, just like I hear every time I come out now with Lincoln Riley, is USC this year's different. This year's different. No, it's not. It's the exact same thing. But I will say, kudos to Lincoln Riley for getting rid of Alex Grinch. You can't change something if you don't change something. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see now, maybe this is the reset that he needed. It depends on who he hires. And I hope he does. I hope USC does well. I hope Lincoln Riley does well. May not be the best at cooking brisket, but I love what he does on offense.
All right, let's go to Christina. She says, USC is going to get beat up. I heard he is starting preemptively crying because he knows it's going to be an L. Do you think USC has any chance in this game at all?
Well, whenever you have Caleb Williams, you always have a chance. What if some, God forbid, happens to Bo Nix or something like that. But it's not a great chance at all. You know how I use that door analogy that's closing? This one is, you're going to have to be Slender Man to slip through. Give me Oregon big.
All right, give me Melinda Moe. She says, at Crane & Company, have you been hearing Brock Bowers will play this weekend? Can you confirm?
Listen, first off, I'd never be shocked about what Brock Bowers does. If he came out there and balled, they're not ruling him out. I think it's the last thing I said, or the last thing I saw from Kirby Smart. But if you're Georgia, this isn't good. There's a game you need them left. It's this one against Ole Miss. We've seen the tightrope surgery with Tua before. I'm not a doctor, but I trust Brock Bowers. They said he hit 20 miles per hour the other day running.
Wow.
Something like that. Would you be shocked, though?
I wouldn't be shocked. I would be surprised. This is what I said on the Memphis radio yesterday. It would still surprise me with this type of injury to come back this quickly, but the type of player Brock Bowers is and what he's made up of, everything we've seen him do on the football field, shocked? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, to me, this is a break glass if emergency.
Would you be shocked if I came back with this injury? Did y'all talk about
I
that
already
on the
saw
radio?
you do a 3-cone drill in the live stream.
In boots.
Nothing shocks me.
I Joe Dierte run in boots the other day on the
Yeah,
live
how
stream.
bad did that hurt the next
Now I'm really thinking maybe Aaron Rodgers is going to come back this year.
3-set drop, 50-yard bomb. I can do that with ease.
I think you'll see Brock in spots, and if it's tight late, I think you'll see Brock.
All right, Don wants to know what's our thoughts on the Texas Tech game.
Did this one? I'm not betting this one. This one just, it's got weirdness written all over it. Like, this is the emo kid with the hair covering half his face sitting in the corner. I want to pick Kansas, right? Kansas got a ton of momentum. It's going great. Texas Tech, shucks out for the rest of the year, but they've been able to score points. I love what Joey McGuire's doing over there. I would take the over if I had to bet anything on this game. Kansas at home, you'd obviously lean that way, but this will not be one of my show bets. I mean, the total maybe, but on a side, I think it's 3.5 right now, something like that.
Let me look. No, you don't look. I want to look. Stop it.
I'm looking.
No, I'm already here. Damn,
so my clue's
wow, I
pointing
was
this
already
way.
on it, and I typed it back.
Minus 3.5.
Minus, nice. Good job, David. Good job. Yeah, I'm not touching that
I like
at
Kansas
all.
in
The
this.
over-under, what do you got right there?
61.5. I like Kansas
That
at
Bean
home.
kid, man.
Well, he's been there for 30 years.
One of the best backup quarterbacks you'll ever
He's
find.
the backup quarterback for no, never mind.
Yeah,
Never
he can
mind.
flick it for sure. Let's go to Luke D. It says hard to gauge QBs from different conferences when the defense are on much different levels.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wrong.
I think, different conferences have different styles, but look at the Pac-12. Sitting your granddaddy's Pac-12. I mean, look at the SEC this year. There's not as many dominant defenses as there's been lately. I mean, if we're gonna talk about the fluctuation in level of play from conference to conference and be honest about it, then we got to talk about how the style of play fluctuates from conference to conference. I mean, just look at what the Big 12 turned into with Baylor and Oklahoma State. I mean, look at the Pac-12 this year. This isn't a run-of-the-mill SEC, half the Big 10. Pac-12 is a Globetrotters game. Big 12 is a Globetrotters game. ACC is hit or miss. This is kind of a little bit of a different year. But speaking about different, if you're looking for the perfect holiday gift, and I need everybody to listen up, all right? This is some new age 2023 going to 2024 type stuff. We got one of these in my house, and it's absolutely incredible. All right, then look no further than the Bartesian. All right, it's a home cocktail maker. I'm telling you, it's the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. All right, and now it's kind of similar to the way people make their coffee. Right, if you kind of smell what I'm stepping in. All right, and now our listeners can get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/crane. Okay, again, ladies, gentlemen, this is a great birthday for a significant other, a parent, somebody of drinking age. All right, you can choose from over 50 different cocktails with classics like margaritas, martinis, old fashions, and the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. It's easier than making a cup of coffee, and it's a perfect addition for every party and for tailgates. Oh my God, you guys, our house parties, it is so unbelievably easy. Takes a lot of the work out of it, and it lets you customize the strength of each drink from mocktail, for ladies maybe carrying a little one out there, to strong. All right, for the ladies who aren't carrying a little one out there, and me. All right, it's perfect for the holiday season. It's BART, so Bart, ESIAN, okay, .com/crane, CRAIN. That's BARTESIAN.com/crane, CRAIN, for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/crane. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. Guys, I'm telling you, you remember that one gift that she always talks about? That I'm like, man, I'm glad you got that. I'm really glad. This is that gift.
I got my brother one for his birthday this year. I'm probably going to get a couple more as Christmas comes up here. Looking for some good Christmas gifts. I would encourage everyone else to do the same.
The bartesian.com/crane. Trust me on this. All right. Let's get to a little bit of, let's go NFL Pick'em. The lines are opening up for calls.
I'm so stoked about this.
I want to get to them, and I want to get to them quickly. Let's get to the NFL Pick'em.
NFL Pick'em. Blaine, this is your idea. You want to explain this?
All right, this is what we're going to do. All right, we have a
do
wheel. Shut up! We have a wheel that we're going to spin on random, okay?
I got it right here.
Right there. There's the wheel. We'll make it bigger next time.
It's not a real life wheel.
What do you make it? It's on the phone.
I'm working on it.
It's
Graphics
digital.
That's
take
real life.
time.
It's in his hand. I mean, what do
Wow.
you consider real life? All right? And so we're going to do a quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, defense. Do y'all want to do a kicker or no?
Sure.
Your special teams, Scott.
All right,
Yeah,
say it
well,
again.
so
We need
we're
a
each
quarterback,
picking
running
one.
back.
We need a
Okay.
Q, coach. All right, we need an RB.
Okay.
So he'll pick a quarterback, then I'll pick a running back, then you'll pick a wide
No,
receiver.
you'll finish your team, and then we'll go to the
So
next.
we're each doing a team.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
That was the plan, unless you want to...
No, not look, I love the plan. Let's execute
Quit
the plan.
throwing a fork into stuff.
Quarterback, one running back, one
receiver,
wide receiver, one tight end, defense, and a kicker.
Yeah.
And then we're going to keep up with the scores from this week.
And we're going to keep up with the scores, and we're going to tally them this weekend.
Okay.
Whoever loses gets punched in the face as hard as possible.
I don't remember signing up for that.
You
part.
sure? We'll
But
figure out a punch.
some teams are on buys.
Yeah, so it's Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, Schmeagles.
Schmeagles. Okay.
Yes, precious.
The old Pitts.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, you're going to
All right,
fill
you
out your
ready?
team here, and I'm going to keep track on my little notepad.
All right.
All right, what team is it?
Spinning Raiders. Who you want from the Raiders?
Who do you want off the Raiders?
Who he's going to take?
Give me Devontae Adams.
Of course.
There you go.
obviously.
There you go.
All right, so
Why
he's
would I
taking
not?
Devontae Adams.
All right, who's going next?
You're going next. You're filling out your team.
Oh, sorry. It's me.
Oh, wait. He just keeps going and
yeah,
going
he's
and
going to
going?
fill out his team.
Oh.
Good. Going first.
So Devontae Adams, great start.
What do I got next?
What a start. Seahawks.
Seahawks. Give me who they got this week. Hold on, let me pull this up. This is important. This is important. Let's see. Who does Seattle got this week?
They got the Commanders
At home?
at home.
Give me Kenneth Walker.
I need that.
Mm,
All right, so you got Devontae Adams and Kenneth Walker right now.
I have
so
him on my fantasy
So you
team,
still need a quarterback, tight end, defense, kicker.
Okay.
All right. Spin it, spin it, spin it.
Need some cardboard. All right.
Chiefs.
Bye.
Bye.
Roll it
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Nobody.
Spin it.
Free roll.
That's
It's
kind of
not a 7.
God. You could have got Patty Mahomes. That'd have been dirty.
Yeah, I know, but he's not playing.
Broncos.
God,
Take
you
Russell
sure they're
Wilson.
not on a bye? Let's see. Who do they got?
What if
What
we
can I
spin it?
see?
with
Are they
the
on a
same
bye?
Team. Can we take?
I don't see
the same
Denver.
Player?
No, it's got to be a different player on that team.
Oh wait,
That's where-
they're
They're playing
at
the Bills.
Buffalo. Oh God. Give me. So I need a quarterback.
Yeah. Tight end,
Tight
defense, or
end.
kicker. You know,
Give me their kicker. Give me their kicker.
Okay, that's a good pick.
Yeah. In
Brandon
that
McManus?
in that
McManus.
altitude.
Nick Annis.
Is he still there?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's
Will
somewhere
Lutz.
else.
I think he left. It's Will Lutz.
Yeah, the Lutz. I like Lutz.
Rams.
Belt.
Bye.
Okay.
Damn it.
Hmm.
So you got kicker, Broncos.
Eagles.
Oh,
Bye.
give me.
No,
Give me.
they're on a bye.
No.
Yeah, they are.
God, the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Dolphins.
Bye.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Does anyone
is
play
weird.
football
This
this
wheel
weekend?
seems
This is
biased.
weird.
Man, the game seems
That's
messed
3
up
buys in
now.
a row. Falcons.
Oh God, that was all she wrote.
Trying to see who Atlanta has.
I mean, you go.
They're at
They
the
got-
Cardinals.
At the Cardinals. Give me
You gotta go.
their defense.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, unathletic white linebackers.
No
Can't
Kyle
take
Pitts?
Josh Dobbs.
No Kyle Pitts.
No, they don't throw him the ball.
All right, how many more spots does he have to
He has a quarterback and tight end.
Bengals.
There,
Joe Burrow.
there you go.
Wow.
There
Yeah.
you go.
This
Wow.
This is an elite.
Wow.
Team. What else does he
You
have?
got tight end.
Tight
This
end.
is it.
Tight end. All right. You are taking the tight end from the Patriots.
Hunter Henry.
There you
Hunter
go.
Henry. What
That's
about
not.
Gesicki?
That's not terrible. Argasicki.
Hunter. Give me Hunter Henry.
That's a smart
Okay.
pick.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go next.
All right. You ready?
I'm about to roll through this. I'm so good at stuff like this.
About random wheels?
Seahawks.
And you have.
Kenneth Walker.
Give me the Seahawks defense.
All right. You keeping track of your team?
Yeah, I got it.
They got the
Eagles. Bye. New York Giants.
Woo!
Saquon.
Like it.
Saquon,
Like
nice
it.
pick.
They're at the Cowboys. Good luck.
How many options?
Cardinals.
Kill me.
Yeah, you got
Um,
Falcons at home.
Kicker.
You want their kicker?
Nice.
Yep.
Smart. Smart.
Vikings.
Give me Hawkinson.
Like it.
Nice pick. Nice pick. All right. Up next for you is Eagles.
Bye.
Bye.
Why are the Eagles getting rolled so many times? What's the algorithm on this?
Browns.
At the
Give me Coop, Mari Cooper.
I like that. Since I was going to say Cooper or
It landed on the Browns again. Does that mean you have to take another person from that team? Or does it respin?
I say respin.
Respin it.
Okay. Bears play tonight.
Bruh.
Yeah. Hey, we should get Cole Kmet.
I mean,
Quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback's my really only option here. Running back. I mean, give me whoever that kid is for quarterback.
Tyler Badgett.
Badgett against the Panthers.
No, he'll go. He'll
Really?
throw for 500 yards.
Against the Panthers, though. We'll
He'll
see.
have 900 total yards.
Lions.
So I got defense, running back, kicker, tight end. I think that's everybody. Yep, that's everybody.
Yep.
Boom,
49ers.
that's 6.
Huh?
Yep. Boom. All right, that's a good squad right there. It's a good squad right there. I feel good about it.
You want to roll mine?
Yep.
All right, so you just hit resume
Okay.
and then spin it.
Love it. All right, your first one. It's the Colts.
The Colts, man. Who do I want from the Colts?
I know where you should go.
Well, Gardner Minshew.
No.
Jonathan Taylor.
Should I take Jonathan Taylor?
Him
I
or
would
Michael
take
Pittman.
JT. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr.
I'll take Jonathan Taylor.
That's a good pick.
All right, Seahawks.
Give me. Who are they playing?
They've got the Commanders at
Commanders
home.
at
I've got
home.
Kenneth Walker and Blaine took their defense, right?
Correct.
So I can't take their defense.
No, you cannot.
DK Metcalf, Geno Smith.
Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf.
All right, I'll take DK Metcalf.
Okay. All right, next one. You've got Patriots. I already got Hunter Henry.
Who are they playing?
They've got the Colts at home.
Kicker's always an option.
Give me their kicker.
I like that. Kicker's the default. All right, your next one, David, the Jags, hosting the Niners.
I'll go ahead and take. They're hosting the 49ers?
Yeah.
Of course, they're hosting the 49ers. I'll go ahead and take Trevor Lawrence.
That's a good
Okay.
pick. So you got
Did you
tight
already
end
get
and
the
defense.
Colts?
Yeah.
All right, let me spin it again. I love giving you some Colts. It landed on the Eagles again, too, but they're in a bye. God, the Seahawks again.
Running again. You ain't got many people left.
Maybe we just need to put these in a hat, and when you pick them, they're gone. All right. It's the Chiefs.
The Chiefs? Oh, they're on a bye.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's the Eagles again. Yeah.
What kind of this wheel sucks?
Vikings.
Vikings?
All right, so you have
Oh.
I have Hawkinson, remember?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you need tight end or defense.
Who are they playing?
They've got the Saints at home.
And you've got Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm. So your quarterback's Trevor Lawrence, your running back's Jonathan Taylor, your receiver's DK Metcalf, and your kicker's Patriots.
So I have to take their defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so the last one, you need what, running back?
Tight end.
Tight end.
All right.
Less up.
The Jets
The Jets?
at the Raiders.
Great.
It's a big Conklin.
Conklin?
Conklin.
Oh, Conk.
Jack Conklin, maybe CJ Uzomah.
Yeah. All right, my team's trash.
Well, I feel like whoever runs third, you're in trouble.
Yeah. It's so there we go.
So
we'll see
way
how
to say that after the fact.
Yeah,
Someone has to be the duck.
I get punched in the face.
we'll see how that goes. All right, quickly, Dave, before we get to calls, rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Any thoughts on the Bears Panthers tonight?
Who cares?
I'd much rather see a bear fight a panther. Like in this game, why can't we just release a bunch of bears and panthers in an arena and just like put stakes everywhere and just let them fight it out? That'd be so much more entertaining.
Well, I want to see Bryce play better. I want to
Yeah.
see Bryce start. The Panthers don't have a lot.
Bears -3.
Yeah.
Like the
I
Bears
think the
right now?
over-under's gone down. It started at 41.5. It's down
I mean,
to
yeah, I'll
41.5.
default to the Bears at home, right? Because look, Batchin, I don't think has looked terrible.
Man, Batch, you can play, man.
He can play.
I'm going to take the under in this game.
That's
38.5.
probably smart.
All right, let's move on here. Ron Washington is going to be the manager of the Angels. Spent the past 5 seasons as a coach with the Braves. He was the Texas Rangers manager for 7 seasons.
Yep.
2007,
Remember he had some
2014.
kind of ran into some trouble. Glad to see him getting a second chance.
Do you think this is a good move for the Angels?
Look, I mean, I think you could get, Danny Glover to coach the Angels, like an Angels in the outfield. It's not going to matter. It's the Angels. I mean, they're getting rid of Shohei. I just hope, at least Ron Washington's toward the end of his career so they can't ruin it.
What do you think? Should they get Danny Glover?
I think so, if they could. I mean,
I love this for Ron Washington.
Yeah, congrats to Ron. I mean, other this,
I'm just going to miss him on the Braves side.
Yeah, but look.
Who does he take with him to the?
It's not how that works.
It's not how that works. It's not college football. All right.
You're talking old third baseman over here.
Also, Riley's going nowhere.
We'll see. I'm hearing a lot of things in the wind.
The epidemic of men and women's sports strikes again here. Did you see this Massachusetts high school where this man? It was field hockey and this girl got her teeth knocked out. Do you guys see this video?
Yeah,
I saw. Yeah. Run it real quick.
She's down on the field, got her teeth knocked out.
If I'm that girl's dad, I'm finding that guy's dad that's on the field, and I'm kicking your ass.
Well, it's not about that. It's about the fact that she's playing.
No, it is about that.
You hear them yelling in the background?
Everybody.
Yeah.
About sportsmanship?
It is about that. It's the only way I know how to fix this now. Like if you're gonna let this happen, right? Then there's gonna be physical repercussions for you. Like if that's the truth. Can you imagine? And it'll never get to this point. You can only get away with this stuff in field hockey, like legitimately where they're playing in a game. Like not when you let a girl go out there and against the third string in the JV and make a tackle in a football game, and they act like she's going to the NFL. I'm talking about, can you imagine if they put a guy out there to play against girls in a sport that is overtly physical, right? And somebody gets we've seen it in volleyball. You saw a girl get her face knocked off in volleyball. Like then at that point, if that's the case and the other girls won't boycott and this is being allowed, then I'm going to go find your dad and he's going to pay the price.
So this is why I think you've hit the nail on the head with the fathers, because the question we've been asking is, why do the female competitors around the country and around the world in all these different sports, why are they putting up with it? Why are they not boycotting? Why are they not playing? But if you're a field hockey player there, you want to play your games, right? Like it takes so much to collectively all boycott together, which may be what we see.
Well, it's the bathroom thing.
But if you're an individual,
if my wife walks into the women's bathroom, or my daughter walks in the women's bathroom and a man walks in there, I'm going to go kick your ass.
Well,
no questions asked, David.
Yeah.
There's no questions asked. There's no questions asked. And you can say that makes me a bad person or whatever. I'll go grab you. If everybody else doesn't want to go get you, I'm going to go get you.
The only way you're going to stop this is women are going to have to stop this.
See, I think
the women that are playing these games, dads aren't going to be. What, the dads going to go beat the hell out of them?
No, I'm not talking about getting physical like he is. I'm talking about where are the fathers to like actually go stand up.
No, but like at some point you got to get physical though.
Okay,
like if they're going to continue to allow this, if I'm her boyfriend and I'm watching this and that happens and you knock my girlfriend's teeth out and you're a guy playing against girls, guess what? I'm going to go show you. I'm gonna go. These people. What do you mean?
That's what they want.
That's what they want.
What do you mean?
That's what they want. Then you get arrested, right? And then they make an example.
So I'm gonna let a guy go.
Unless it's a collective thing.
So your wife walks into the bathroom. A man walks in there. You just gonna let that happen and just call the police?
No, I wouldn't. But I would get arrested. Like that's what they want. The reaction. What I'm talking about is
how do you stop it then?
What I'm talking about is like from fathers to be able to stand up on a universal scale here. Like my daughter's only 10 months old. I've only been a girl dad for 10 months. I would walk through the gates of hell for her.
So you put together, so you organize, you put together a march, you go march up to Washington, or you put together an organization. Guess what? Guys are doing this. It's still not stopping it. This is still happening. Look around the country. It's still happening. You can say all the things you want. You can do all the things you want, and that's great. I'm not saying not to do that. But what I am telling you is, on honest to God truth, that I am not a violent person. I don't condone violence unless it's necessary, and sometimes it is necessary. If my wife walks into a bathroom, or my daughter walks into a bathroom, okay, and I'm not talking about 4-year-olds or 3-year-olds or anything like that, and a man walks into that bathroom, I don't have time to call the cops.
Well, that's
I am going to go drag your ass out of there.
We're not talking about bathroom area. We're talking about field hockey. What I'm talking about is the fathers sat by and let the man be on the field playing.
That's what I'm saying, David.
You're
That's
talking
what I'm
about.
saying.
I would go beat him up retrospectively after he did this and knocked out the girl's teeth. But what I'm talking about is why would you even let the girls take the field in the first place
like,
if you're a
women
father?
are going to have
like that. My daughter's not walking out there to play any sport if a man's competing in the game. Like that's more.
I agree with that.
With the women,
I agree with that too.
They need the men and the fathers to back.
But that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously not happening.
Not in Massachusetts for sure.
No, it's sad. Look, sometimes what does Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a plan till you get punched in the face.
Mm.
That's the truth. So speaking about getting punched in the face, let's get some calls.
Let's do it. All right, we got
Who is it?
Oh, the first caller today is J-Boy in Baton Rouge.
Oh God.
No, is this a boy
Who was
the J-Boy in Baton Rouge?
Who is this?
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up,
What's
man?
up, man?
Before I get into my call about special teams, I gotta be an embarrassing big brother real quick. My little sister is gonna be in Nashville tonight celebrating her 20th birthday.
All right. Tell her we said
Congrats.
congrats. Level up day. Almost to the big level
her
up
name's
day.
Little Bebe, that's what we call her.
Little baby. Oh, little baby.
Lil
Yeah.
Baby.
Little baby.
Wouldn't you mind giving her happy birthday?
Yes. Hey, happy birthday. Happy 20th birthday.
Yeah,
Little baby. Little baby. Hey, baby.
Little Boosie action. Happy birthday, yeah.
She's a little blonde-headed girl with a blade. Try not to have sex with her, all right?
Look, man, I'm good. Unless she's at Santa's pub tonight, we should be fine.
Hey, you know what you're supposed to say? Hey, let me see something right.
I got holes in the bayou, boy.
I still tell people that is the weirdest text message I've ever woken up.
I bet it was.
When you wake up in the morning and you open your phone and it says, "Hey, did Ed Orgeron threaten to kill you last night?" Like,
I still
What?
can't believe that situation.
like, dude, the amount of different directions I thought that could have gone was wild.
Like waking up to it.
yeah, that's just
Yeah,
it's
guys,
not
I'm so
Folgers.
glad you brought that up yesterday because that was so funny. I've been thinking about that for so long.
Dude, yeah, it literally came out of nowhere too. Because I obviously wasn't watching the coaches show live. I got a bunch of friends and buddies that are LSU fans, and they know my voice, and they knew it wasn't me, but they thought maybe I asked somebody or got somebody to do it. I had no idea about that. But now, me and Edo are boys, so it's a cool situation.
J-Boy, you there?
Hey, boy, hello.
Yep.
There you go.
Definitely.
What's your special teams question?
I guess if I had a special teams question, I'd say if you're a special teams coordinator, how do you what is it in terms of what's the most important thing scheme wise, or is it mostly player groupings, or kind of take us into the mind of a special teams?
Yeah. Well, it's a third of the game, right? Now, obviously, you don't run as many plays on special teams as you do on offense or defense, so it gets kind of hidden a little bit. The football connoisseurs obviously know the importance of it. Just like offense and defense, so it's about a mixture of both, right? It's about personnel and scheme. What I always found was it's not some guys in the NFL, obviously you can get away with it more because you're more in the building with them. There's not academics and things like that. But I never wanted to overload the guys too much schematically. Kickoffs outside of what you needed to carry, obviously onside kick, your squib kicks, your sky kicks, your directional kicks, things like that. Punt return wise, typically, I would put in a new block each week. We'd carry similar returns that we could adjust. I mean, it's just like anything. It's a mixture of personnel and scheme. The one thing that I liked the most, my favorite part, and some people think this is crazy because most special teams guys love the return game the most, was punt. And that's because we did a rugby read punt where we would rugby it every time. We called it yellow. Every time we'd get a chance, and we'd have a read built in where the punter could take off if the read was there. Now, sometimes I'd turn it off depending on where we were in the game. Obviously, if they were in a safe look against your punt team. But I enjoyed coming up with the fakes and things like that actually more than the returns.
All right, cool.
Definitely.
All right, man.
Well, thanks, man. Appreciate you calling in.
J-Boy. Stay safe in the bayou down there.
Yeah.
All right, Hunter in Arkansas.
started to go.
Hunter, how you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? Man, I wish I had a coach threaten my life. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I know, right? And yeah,
I'm jealous.
it's Ed Orgeron. The crazy thing is, he'd probably do it though. There's a lot of coaches probably throughout your life. I think Edo would do it.
That's probably accurate. So my thing, I meant to call in yesterday, or I tried calling in yesterday, but the greatest call in ever, like just hung my call up. I guess it was weird, but I think right now the four that are 1 through 4 in the college football rankings aren't going to change until Thanksgiving. I realistically don't think any of them are going to lose until Thanksgiving.
I mean, I think that's the most likely outcome.
5 through 25 will change like crazy, but I don't think 1 through 4 will at all. It might be like positioning, like Michigan might jump Georgia or Georgia might jump Ohio State, like whatever. But I think the national champion's not even in the final or the top 4 right now.
Really?
I had a sign yesterday that made me think about this. I saw it. I'm trusting it, but I don't want to go further into it because I don't want David stealing it.
It's a Michigan joke.
Don't you worry.
Gotcha.
Hey,
I gotcha.
it ain't me, brother. I got Connor right there behind you. Take a look back.
Yeah, Connor Stallions has been staking out your house.
Oh,
the
he
past
goes
4
by
days,
Connor
Hunter.
Clydesdale now.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry.
But I also think the national champion will also have the Heisman winner this year. So that's where I'm going to keep it at that.
Man,
Let me guess.
dang.
Let
No,
me guess.
you're picking either Washington
You're
or
guessing.
Oregon.
You're taking Oregon. You think Bo Nix is going to win the Heisman? They're going to avenge the loss against Washington and win the national championship.
I'm afraid of Ducks. I'm not picking the Ducks.
Plot twist. He's picking Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State at 15 to somehow sneak their way through the cardage. No, I'm just kidding.
I think the whole world would burn down if that happened. No, I'm picking Washington, and I think they're going to play Georgia in the national championship.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
Well, I had him in my playoff.
It's just going to be unfortunate
crazy,
when Georgia
man.
plays Michigan.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dogs versus dogs.
God,
Very
look, that's a
nice.
matchups I want to see. But Hunter, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate
Tell
it, bud.
Connor Clydesdale we said what's up. He's in your kitchen.
Yeah. Boo. All right, let's go to Jake in Florida. Jake, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Jake, what's
Good,
up, man?
So I've taken 2 days to kind of digest these playoff rankings, and I have a stance that I want to take. I don't think the controversy is going anywhere until we get rid of the playoff committee. It doesn't matter if there's 12 teams, 32 teams, 64 teams. As long as we have a human committee making these decisions, there's always going to be controversy.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood why we went away from the BCS system when we wanted to do the playoff format. I never understood why the playoff committee was even necessary. The inconsistencies with these rankings is abysmal.
It is.
And it happens every year.
Yeah.
For example, how can you tell me Ohio State is number 1 based on resume?
And Florida State's
you have
4.
Florida State at 4. And how is Oregon the number 1 one-loss team out of the top 5? They're putting more stock in a loss to Washington than they are looking at Texas and Alabama's wins. Texas should be 6, Alabama 7, Oregon 8. Oregon's beaten one top 15 ranked team. Alabama's beaten 3 top 20 teams, all by 2 scores.
Yeah.
And they're being punished. I'm not trying to sound like a Alabama sunshine pumper here, but Alabama is being punished for scheduling a week 2 matchup against a very good Texas team early in the season. If I'm a team making a schedule, why would I schedule a good team early in the season when I can just skate by like Georgia and Michigan and not play anybody until November?
Jake, number one, I agree with you. When it comes down to this committee, here's where I disagree with you. And you're right, the inconsistencies are all over the place. That's what happens when you don't have a true criteria and you're trying to appease everybody in every corner, right? This is what happens. It comes out as contradictory and it makes no sense. I don't have a problem with the human element. I have a problem with the humans that are doing it. the ones that are actually on the committee. I think we need people who understand college football, that can blend the eye test with a criteria that's consistent all the way through, right? I don't think we have that. I think you got a bunch of people, and I get it. It's business. Their money is the motive, right? Money is the end all be all. I don't think they're truly trying to put together the most consistent ranking. I think they're hoping it all works out like they always do. There will always be people that are arguing. We see this in the NCAA tournament with the 69th team and the 70th team. There will always be people that want to complain. I don't want it to be all computer. I want it to be a mix of a criteria that you put in a computer and it spits out a number with strength of schedule and stuff like that, blended with the eye test from people who are actually trying to give the most realistic ranking, not just try and kiss everybody's ass to be able to get away with it and say, well, we did a little bit here, we did a little bit there, we did a little bit there. It's the DEI of college football. You're trying to appease everybody, trying to include everybody, and when you spit it out, it makes no sense, and it's not truly based on one system or meritocracy, in my opinion. It's all over the place. I just hope to God it works itself out, to be honest with you.
But when you calculate strength of schedule, that's just another ranking. Someone else is ranking the strength of schedule, and we're doing it in the middle of the season, not even at the end of the year once we've seen every single team play all the games. Even if you put all of us in a room with the top 50 people in college football all together to make it, the subjectivity is always, when you're splitting hairs this fine for 4 spots out of 133 teams, there's always going to be someone who says, no, our team was better because X loss was better, or because X win, or we were on the road, or this. This is why the NFL system, while it's not as fun to me, I have more fun doing this. It is just objectively better. Like, hey, if you win your division, you're in the playoffs. I don't care if you have a losing record and you're not even better than the 3rd best team in the other division, you're in. And the wild card spots take care of themselves based off record.
I don't have a problem with the human element. I have a problem with the humans they chose to decide it. That's what I have a problem with, Jake. But great call, man. Call in again.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir, Jake.
All right, let's go to Ken in Florida. Ken, what's up?
Love Florida callers.
Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is Ken from X, formerly Stevo ISO Des.
Nice. What's up? What's up, man?
I'm now sedation stage.
What'd you say?
Let's get at it. I'm now sedation stage, so let's get at it.
Love it. Let's get it.
So I guess my question involves too many teams I feel like are going for it on 4th down these days and not taking easy-to-go field goals. I mean, I remember watching the Notre Dame USC game. Notre Dame left there was at least one field goal they should have taken, and they turned it over on downs. Last week, the Cowboys. I feel like there's always 1 or 2 games where these coaches are almost too aggressive. What do you guys think? Do you think the game morphed to not in field goals?
Great question.
Well, it's
when they have them.
Yeah. I think situations dictate decisions. I think circumstances dictate decisions. I think a lot of this is more off feel than it needs to be off just numbers. We've gone away from, and I think it's a mix of 2 things. One, I think it's the new hip thing to do. I think it's the new cool thing to do. It makes you seem edgy. It makes you seem forward thinking. It makes you seem smarter than everybody else. But I think what the card does is and I get you're trying to make the decision that you feel like the percentages are the best. But I feel like instinct as a coach will tell me what the best decision is, right? Like I take Kansas State, Texas, for example. I was shocked that Kleiman went for the touchdown when they held they had gotten all the momentum back from Texas. They had moved the ball, kind of got stuffed a couple times. You kicked the field goal, your defense just stopped them. You're back on offense again with all the momentum. I think that's a feel thing, right? I don't want to take, like Dan Lanning taking the most drastic option every time, I don't think was based off feel. I feel like that is him saying, all right, well, analytically, it's cool to do this, it's new to do this, it's hip to do this. Stupidity can also be aggressive, right? Being aggressive doesn't always mean you're being smart, right? Like stupidity takes many forms. I think it needs to come off feel. How do I feel about my team? How do I feel about the flow of the game? Situationally, it's 4th and 1, we're at midfield. How has my defense been playing? I can look at my offensive line and get a feel, hey, they want to go for it. I feel good about it. I think we're taking the human element out of it and looking at a card that says the word analytics, so therefore I have to believe it.
I'll tell you two other reasons why we're seeing it more and more is the more the rule changes benefit offenses, the more points are going to be scored. So coaches feel like they have to convert fourth downs, especially when they're in the red zone. But also, particularly this year, especially in college football, the clock change. That rule is giving teams fewer possessions. So coaches are saying if we're going to have 2 fewer possessions per game and we're in the red zone and it's 4th and 2, I may have kicked this football 3 seasons ago, but we're going to go for it now.
Yeah, but like I understand that in some circumstances, but when you're down 6,
No, I'm sitting there looking at the
Like-
TV these past few weeks, just baffled.
yeah, to me it's not just about the time that's left in somebody's game, it's the score.
Sometimes you need points.
Yeah, sometimes like dog, kick the field goal, man. Kick the field goal. So Ken, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it's a 2 possession game, say 10 points, or what was the Dallas game, like 8 or something like that. Like they could have kicked the field goal and it went for 2 if they scored the touchdown on the next drive. I mean, it drives me insane watching these.
And like I understand some of the analytics are different in the NFL because the extra points further back, right? Like I can understand the math of saying, all right, I get it at the 2-yard line going in, or I kick this field goal that's back. Now in college, it's still the 99 percentile. Kick the extra point. Kick it. Like it's just, Ken, I'm with you, man. 2 good calls from Florida back to back.
Appreciate it, Ken. Call in next week, brother. All right, we got Chris in Michigan. Chris, how you doing?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
Chris.
Hey, how's it going, guys? So
Good,
I'm
man.
wondering if Michigan should start adopting "it means more." I mean, having 11 Michigan Congress people penning a letter to the Big Ten telling them to adhere to due process is that's a pretty big deal.
I'll continue to say what I've said. Every day this goes on and I find out more, I respect Michigan even further.
You're on the Dave Portnoy train.
No, well, and we were saying this before Portnoy was saying it. We're from SEC country, right? Deny. You didn't see it. I didn't see it. It didn't happen, right? All this, circumstantial. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, if you're not cheating, and I'm not even call it cheating, if you're not trying to find every advantage to win, you can't survive. It's the jungle, man. It's the jungle.
So what could Michigan have done where you would be saying, this was too far right now, and you should be penalized and have to miss the rest of the season? Like if you were paying referee, if they were paying referees.
If you're paying referees,
if they broke into their opponent's locker room and stole
Watergate.
plays, or
Watergate.
like there's stuff that's bad enough.
Yeah,
that
there
all
is.
of
This
us can
is
get
not
on
it.
board. This is coaching.
Yeah, I
and
just watched
scouting
a
your
dude
opponent.
hit a
If they were using football funds to help,
Like, come on, man. Like, don't make me
foreign
mad.
wars or something.
This is a national story? Like, not to people who played and coached. It's not.
No.
I promise you it's not.
This is Tuesday.
And now the Michigan government's involved, like Chris said.
Good. Again, I'm starting to gain more respect for the state of Michigan. This is good
like
for
we
y'all.
say this all the time. And
Y'all
the teams-
need this.
All the teams trying to come out and rat on Michigan, just know.
The dossier.
Just
Yeah.
know.
The dossier.
Look, you take one, we're bringing the ship down with us.
But
buddy.
again,
Yeah.
the whole mentality, and Chris, you tell me what you think.
It's the
This
KGB,
idea
dog.
of, well, we have dirt on everyone else, which I've been told this dossier is very, very real. And you saying, well, everyone else cheated
Heard that
too, and here's our evidence. That doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't violate bylaws, right? What I've been saying this whole time is, if Michigan broke the rules, why is the NCAA not issued like any accusation of wrongdoing here? We still haven't received any letter from the NCAA on Burgergate, and our coach missed 25% of the season. With the possibility today, the ruling's going to come down today from the Big Ten. Tony Petitti is just in over his head, this rookie Big Ten commissioner, and really it makes me respect.
Poor guy.
everything
this
that-
guy's like.
It makes me respect everything that Greg Sankey and the SEC does even more, because like you truly need leadership in positions.
You know what I
of
keep
power.
seeing? I keep seeing like it's like the mob. Like you have like Greg Sankey sitting at the table. You got like all the old like not that Greg Sankey's super old, but like the Dons, like the head of the ACC and like the Pac-12. They're like, hey, don't let him in.
Meeting of the five families.
Yeah, the meeting of the family. It's like Tony Petitti's the young guy, and he's like, I don't really know what I need to do.
And they're like, your accent's fake.
Greg Sankey's like, Tony, why are you talking like that?
Do nothing.
Yeah, Greg Sankey's
don't
like, hey,
do. And you know what you do?
It's okay,
You
get in
do
the back of
nothing.
the car. It's fine.
You say everything.
What?
You do nothing. Don't tell the NCAA Don't tell them anything. How to get you whacked.
Yeah, my whole thing about this is that people are just complaining and saying, oh, Michigan's just acting like, oh, everyone else does it. But what they're trying to point out is that what they're being accused of is in-person scouting, and everyone does in-person scouting is what Michigan's argument is. And then it comes down to what Michigan bylaw did they break? And then that comes down to if they broke if Connor Stalions did what he did, then that's a financial bylaw that they broke, not a competitive advantage.
Yeah, like these people saying keep them out of the playoff, or I'm not going to vote for J.J. McCarthy for a Heisman.
Like,
this is so.
Remember when this
dumb.
news story broke and it was the advanced scouting portion that actually breaks the letter of the law, not this spirit of the law sign stealing thing they're trying to do, which all the other Big Ten teams are backpedaling on now. Because see, that's what's different. The NCAA's bylaw. Well, the NCAA's bylaw is the advanced scouting. The Big Ten's is different. Theirs is sportsmanship. So what Michigan's actually putting out on the other teams it actually matters to the Big Ten bylaws.
We're going to fight.
But remember when I said this about the advanced scouting? I said my 8-year-old flag football team, when I was 8 years old, did this. We would ask our parents, can we stay after our game to watch the team we're going to play next week? Just to see what they're doing.
All of a sudden, breaking news on ESPN, David Cohn's 8-year-old team.
6'4", 8-year-old David Cohn.
Someone sent me the clip from the Little Giants when they're doing that and they have the binoculars.
Yeah.
He's like, they're standing around, bud.
Oh, great call, Chris.
What's the punishment going to be today from the Big Ten, if any, you think?
He might go cry in a corner.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Tony Petiti.
Jim Harbaugh gets a pick.
Ohio State suspended 7 games.
What I'm hearing is Tony Petiti is still in over his head. He still might try and suspend Harbaugh, but like you guys said, Michigan's got a binder, and they're going to fight back.
Yeah, Michigan. Here's Jim Harbaugh.
Can we just suspend Texas A&M?
Also, Chris, I have to say this, man.
No one wants
It's worth pointing out, because I've been hard on Michigan. I've been hard on the athletic department. We have to give a shout-out to Santa Ono, the Michigan president.
Santa?
Oh, yeah.
If Schissel was still president, or even
very high in the Santa power.
Is that Apollo
I'm telling you
Ono's
right
dad?
now, Santa Ono has come in and he has defended Jim Harbaugh. He sees the value in the Michigan football program, which I don't know why anyone should have to be shown that. The winningest football program in college history. But shout out to Santa Ono. Let's see what happens. The news will break today, I'm sure.
Definitely.
I can't wait.
Awesome.
Oh, boys.
Go blue. Swung on.
Go blue, Chris. That's the last caller today, boys.
All right. Appreciate you guys calling. Let's get to the chat before I get up and walk over here.
All right, let's go to AZ Cactus Flower, $20 dono. Appreciate it. Says, morning, fellas. Happy Flaming Dragon Eve. Love this starting the day off hot with y'all's best in the business right here. Give me your best bet for tonight.
Best bet for tonight?
Best bet for the night.
Golly. Give me the Bears minus 2.5.
That's your best bet?
Yeah.
Bears, Panthers under 38.5.
All right, let's go to the house that Cody built. We love that house. In 2003, Oklahoma got blown out by K-State in the Big 12 championship, but dropped him to number 3 in the AP poll, and the BCS still put them in the title game over USC, whose one loss wasn't nearly as bad. Thank God we don't live in the BCS era.
Yeah, I know. Just talk to me about 2004.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Reese Brown. He says, thinking that Ole Miss is better than FSU is the biggest trash take I've ever heard.
Nobody said they're better.
I'll call in tomorrow. Work meeting took a while. Got to defend that FSU Ole Miss comparison.
Whoa. Who said that Ole Miss is better than FSU?
I don't think that's what...
I literally said that their teams are comparable, but I would take Jordan Travis over Jackson Dart. I would take the 2 studs that FSU has on the outside, Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, over Franklin and Harris, even though I think we've seen them really come on. I said the team makeups are similar. I think Benson and Judkins and the way this run game and the way they use the run game similar. And then and they don't turn the ball over on offense. I think one's ranked 3rd, one ranked 4th. So
that would be a good game.
It would be a good game. Nobody. First off, if you're gonna call in tomorrow. I'd love to talk to you about it. If you're gonna call something a trash take, make sure you get the take right. I literally said Florida State would beat Ole Miss on a neutral site, but the way the teams are made up are somewhat similar. And I think that's...
Or maybe he's responding to someone in the chat.
Maybe he is, Reese. I want to make sure.
Let's go to the Green
Soldier.
Connor
Stallions you.
He wants to say, isn't it hilarious when Michigan fans come out and try to justify what they did?
What do you think, Devin?
Was he talking to me or to Chris?
Talking to both of you.
I think he's talking to both of y'all.
Again, I'm not trying to justify anything. I'm trying to lay bare the facts of the situation, which we can't seem to get from either the NCAA or the Big Ten, even though more information is supposedly coming out today. I will agree that the Michigan angle of well, everyone else broke rules, and here we have evidence of it. That does not mean that you didn't then break rules, right? Like, that's not the argument. That's not what I've been saying anyway. So
No, this rule sucks.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Like, the end result is you getting their signs. You're going to get their signs if you want to get their signs. Regardless if you send Connor Stallions to the game, or you're looking at the wide film, or you pick them up in game, or you played the team last year and you figured them out, or you have a coach that was on that staff the year before and they didn't change their signals. Like, this just, I'm so tired of talking about this.
The even bigger part of it is the NCAA exposing college football at the most critical times in the season because they've lost their stranglehold on it. So whoever that commenter was there, I know it's all well and good to like laugh at Michigan and to root for punishment here when it's not your college football team, but just understand they're coming for the sport writ large, and so I hope that someone stands up and defends your team when it's
think your team's
like I did
clean
when
or
it was
not?
Mason Smith at LSU.
Auburn's clean, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, we don't do anything wrong.
Yeah. So somehow the NCAA knew that Cam Newton got paid before the season started. But when does the story break? Right before Georgia?
Accusations, Dave.
The week of Auburn, Georgia, the
Crazy
story
how that happens,
breaks.
right?
Trying to make college football look bad.
All right, let's go to I Am, who says, who gets in? 12-1 SEC champ Alabama or 12-1 Big 12 champ Texas for the final playoff spot?
Played each other, Texas.
If it's for the
Texas
final
beat them
spot.
on the road.
Yeah.
That's the easiest one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is the easiest outcome to pick.
You know they're going to put Alabama in.
There's no way they could. There's no way they could.
You know they are.
There's no way they could.
There's no way. But what if Quinn Ewers is still hurt?
Still, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. If you're honest about it, if you're really honest about it, there's no way.
Yeah. The
There's
head-to-head
just no way.
has to outweigh.
Then I would never want to hear about strength of schedule ever again. I would never schedule anybody that's any good outside of the conference ever again. I'd never do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to PD. It says playoff committee members fly on private jets to fancy 5-star resorts. They get massages every day and eat the best food and drink and pretend to watch football. These guys mess it up every week.
See, listen, you could fly me across the country in a private jet and get massages and do it, and I'll watch the football.
Yeah, we'll do it for half.
Well, yeah, we'll do it for half. I'll do it. I'll fly first class commercial. First class commercial. All right, one more, and then I'm gonna get up.
Okay, let's go to CJ Jacoby. He says, what does being male or female have to do with that injury in field hockey?
It has to do with males having a competitive advantage in sports. Now, one of the arguments for this is that, well, you could get your teeth knocked out as a girl playing field hockey either way. So what does it matter? Yeah, that's like the percentage chance you get injured is exacerbated when you put men out there. This was the point that Jake was making with the volleyball situation that we talked about with Ben Shapiro. Like you're increasing the percentage chance that there's an injury. And also, take boxing or MMA for a second. If we had Tyson Fury was going to fight Conor McGregor, all of us would look at each other like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
No one would ever let that fight happen just because of the weight disparity, because every 5 pounds matters so much in boxing and fighting. You have these different divisions. So we won't even let two professional fighters who are both men fight each other because they weigh a little more, but we'll let men fight and compete against them.
It's severity,
Insane.
right? It's severity, and it's getting more injuries. Obviously, if a man is out there, he is stronger. He's going to create more force on what he is hitting, which therefore is going to create more force on what is getting hit. Not saying that girls don't injure other girls, they do. But when you put men out there, it increases the chance of injury and it increases the severity of that injury. So I think it's a severity thing, not just a somebody got hurt thing. People get hurt in sports all the time, regardless if it's male versus female, male and male. It's the severity of it, and it's the severity of it over time, and it's the door that it opens. That's the biggest problem.
I saw someone put in the chat that, well, women, college basketball women, they scrimmage against the guys all the time. And you got to think, like, the guys they're not going full speed.
No.
They're not going full speed. They're like, the coach tells them before you go play. Look, I've done it. We used to do it all the time when I was in middle school, high school, and stuff like that. The coach tells them, it's like, look, we're here to make them better. That's what we're here to do. So, like, physically, you're not attacking the rim. You're not setting as hard picks. So, like, there's a reason why you don't see a lot of women going into male sports. Not a lot, none. Right? Because you can't compete.
Yeah. If that was the case, it'd be way more prevalent.
It's difference from birth.
Yeah, and that's just how it is. All right, we'll get to donuts in a second. Let me read these bets. Went 2-0 yesterday in the MAC, which, you know what that makes me, David? I don't know if we have that on the soundboard anymore, but you know what that makes me.
Did that make you happy?
Yeah.
Make me happy.
So happy face. Here's what I got today. Virginia, Louisville, over 50.5.
Ooh.
All right, I think Louisville's going to put up 42. This smells like a 42-13 game to me, 42-16 game. And then give me the Bears. Bought it down a little bit, -2.5. I don't like taking things at 3.5 unless I'm taking you as the underdog. That's at -137. David.
Bet enemies tonight then, because I'm going to take the
Enemies?
Louisville UVA under 50.5, -112. And then let's do the same thing for Bears Panthers. I wish I had gotten it at 41.5, but instead I'm going to ride with the under at 38.5, -110.
I love it. All right, little prop bets in the NFL. Give me Adam Thielen over 6.5 receptions. He's hit this
more
the
than
last
a
5
Thielen.
out of 6 games. He's getting 10 targets a game, which is crazy. And give me Cole Kmet over 37.5 receiving yards, -113. You saw what he did last week. I think he's going to get fed a little more, especially with his Panthers defense, who struggles to guard tight ends.
Who's the first touchdown scorer?
Darnell Mooney.
Wow.
Oh, wow, really? Well, all the targets aren't leaving San Francisco. They're just going to Carolina to see Adam Thielen. Here's what I got tonight. Here's what Aska has. He's got the Bears -3 at -105, and he's taking the Bears TTP. You know me. Under 16.5 at +110. I don't know why that's one of my favorite things to do, but I really enjoy it.
What's Reed taking tonight? That's what I want.
Yeah, Reed had a question in the chat. Why doesn't college have first touchdown scores or anytime touchdown scores like the NFL?
I think they do. I think they may have it on Prize Picks.
I think some books
I think
have
that may be a Prize Picks thing.
Yeah, I think some books have them, but I don't know which ones. All right, let's get to the poll.
What, no donuts?
Hit the donuts for today. Who is the real UT? Tennessee or Texas?
Texas.
I'm going to say they said Texas, 61%.
Man, they said Texas, but I'll ride with Tennessee.
Texas,
51.
56%.
Right about in the middle.
Tennessee, 44%.
How'd that get started?
Just started early in the chat.
Yeah.
Started early in the chat. That's what they wanted.
Somebody woke up.
What you want, chat, you will get.
Talking about Florida State and the ACC. Who's the real UT?
He's the real UT.
Yeah.
All right, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out Bartesian, check out Good Ranchers, grab some merch. We're going to put the link in there. We appreciate you guys joining us. Got a great show for you tomorrow. Got a great guest picker this week, Mike Golick Jr. is going to join us to pick games. We're excited about that. So make sure you keep watching, keep subscribing. Make sure you like this video as well. We appreciate it and like the chances of the Bears-Panthers being as cool as Bears actually fighting Panthers. We're going. Gone.